Welcome back to the Jupiter Live. I am your host, Tom Franklin, and today we have on Cyn Shrader Hill. She's an author. I think she's only 4 or 5 books. I think it's 5 books, 4 true accounts, and one is some personal accounts. So she's shaking her head in the background in the green room. That's all. Thank you so much. North and South, good. I'm doing good so far. She's also the leader of, or a member of, at least we'll find out, of the Elk Valley Paranormal group, investigational group, and I've just spoken with her just briefly. She was having some issues, sometimes tech issues, especially on my side. I hope that my internet doesn't get bumped out today. If it does, guys, just hang around and I'll do my very best to get back on. So if you keep finding yourself coming back to the Jupiter Live, please do me a favor and subscribe, leave a comment, share it with your friends. You can also find me on Rumble. You can also find me on Spotify. Every week on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time is when I release my live shows. And every Friday, you will get a special separate podcast. And I've had some interesting ones coming out this week. Let me make sure I go through and double check everything. That way you guys are updated. Or hold on, let me go to my content over here on the phone. Talking to myself as if I am not prepared. This Friday, I have on Linda Eastburn. We discussed her. She's an author as well. She discussed her recent book, Thresholds to Encounter. And next week's release episode on Friday is going to be with my good friend. He was in my band, Lamera, for many years. I've known him for, oh my Lord, how long has it been? Over 20 years. That's my friend Suder Stotzenthaler. He witnessed a satanic ritual in the forest of Germany. So, without any further ado, please, let's extend a warm welcome and let's introduce to the Jupiter podcast, Mrs. Cyn Shrader Hill.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited for having you on. I mean, just within, what do we talk? 1 minute, 1.5 minutes. Right. I was like, oh, we're going to have a good time. We're going to have a good time. Yeah. So for those who don't know, as well as myself, please tell us a little bit about yourself and where we can find you.
Yeah, I am in Tennessee, USA.
Okay.
I am in southern middle Tennessee. Hey, you guys. And I formed Elk Valley Paranormal in 2014 after I was trained in how to have a group and to investigate. So I've not been investigating that long. And I wrote my first book 2018. So everything's just last minute for me.
Okay, so where do you go to get once right there, guys, on the screen right there? That's her link. Go ahead and check out what she's doing, and I'm sure within your link there will also be the ability to go and check out your books. Is that correct on your website?
I can give you my link tree, and that has everything.
Okay.
In it.
Well, I'll put that in the description no matter what. Definitely send me your links. That way we can that way I can put it in post haste. But anyway, there's the paranormal.com. So that is the link as well to your website. Where does one get trained on how to run a paranormal group? Where do you? Is there a college? Where are you going for that?
Well, you just need to find a group that knows what they're doing. And once you find a group that knows what they're doing and can train you, then you need to also go with other groups and learn their methods too. Because everybody investigates just a little bit differently, and we can all learn from each other.
Okay, well, I mean, so when you're saying that you are looking for a group that knows what they're doing, so there are groups out there by proxy who are doing incorrect things. So let's not go into the negative first. We'll get there in a minute. That just popped into my brain. I was thinking, no, let's not go down that route. So,
right.
Everyone's like, oh, there's another paranormal investigators. But the thing is that what I enjoy about paranormal investigators is that they're, boots on ground. Some of them are, they use different techniques. They got their divining rods, and some got their EMF meters, and things and the like. But what I enjoy about it is that they enjoy it. You know what I mean? I would do it too. Eventually, it's going to happen. But in Mexico, let's see what happens. That's going to be a little wild. I got to work on my Spanish a little bit more.
Yeah, and you've got some crazy things going on down there anyway. You've got all kinds of cryptids and all kinds of folklore and La Llorona and
La Llorona. Yes.
Oh, man.
Ishtabai. Have you heard of the Ishtabai?
Yes. No, I
That's
haven't.
that's a famous Mayan witch or Mayan sorceress that
See?
lures young men in,
Yeah.
offers them like beer or hi, how you do. You turn away, you look back, and she has one horse leg and one chicken leg, and like she's all like she looks like the lady from The
That,
Shining. You know?
that witch.
Yeah.
What a
It's
witch.
Ishtabai. It's a very well known. There's actually a bar here called the Ishtabai where I did my stand up in the first time, and I know the owner, and it's a very famous witch down here. So yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So I guess we'll go through the run of the mill questions until I get to know you a little better.
Sure.
What got you like interested in doing this to begin with?
I've always been out. Well, I was a weird kid growing up. It's just
Weren't
one
we
of
all?
those things that just kind of fell into my lap. Yeah. I mean, I you feel like an outsider. And then as you get older, you realize you're not the only one. There's others that are out, feels like they're outsiders too. So you kind of gravitate towards your people, right? So
Yes.
I found my cousin actually had her art studio investigated here in this county, and I found out late. I was like, "Oh man, you didn't invite me! I cannot believe you had an investigated group down, and they found some evidence." Her art studio was on the square, and it's a little town, uh, like Mayberry, picture Mayberry Square, right? And she
Okay.
has a little art studio on the north side. And back in the like 1800s and before, a lady was not seen on the north side of the square without an escort. She,
Okay.
if she didn't have an escort, she was probably a lady of the night. So Jenny, pregnant, is working at her art studio late one night and she hears the door click. She looked up, she didn't see anybody, and it just did a click, click, click kind of noise. So she got up and checked it and it was locked. She hadn't locked it. So she went back, unlocked it again, and went back to do what she was doing. She wasn't afraid, not a problem. And as soon as she got sat back down, not too long, she heard click, click, click again and goes over to the front door and it's locked again. So she has the group come down and they found out it was a little old gentleman that used to own the store back in the early 1930s, somewhere along in there. And he just didn't think she, as a pregnant lady, should be there by herself in an
Oh,
unlocked.
what a sweet ghost.
Right? It's nice to have
Right.
one of those. It's nice.
That's
So
it's still
I got
scary though.
right.
It's still
Yeah, yeah.
scary.
She wasn't
Right.
scared. She wasn't scared. But I called the same group to come down and investigate my mom and dad's old store. We lost my dad in 2001, and my sister and my mom tried to keep this was an auto parts building, tried to keep it
Okay.
going against everybody else that was selling auto parts. So two women in the Bible Belt trying to sell auto parts against O'Reilly's and Advanced Auto
Oh,
and even Walmart, right?
what do you mean a calibrator? What kind of calibration you talking about?
Right?
Now,
Except now my
imagine trying
sister,
to learn all those parts in the. For me, I had to learn them in German, and now I have
oh,
because I lived in Germany for 20 years, and now I have to learn them
nice.
again in Spanish. And every time I go
Oh,
in, I have to use my hands and draw pictures. So it's kind of like what you did, but
yeah.
just similar but yet different. Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
Side
it's
note,
wild.
I lived in Texas for a while and did home health. And growing up, I learned German. And really wanted that to be my what I studied to do. I wanted to be an international marketer, that kind of thing.
You speak German.
I, I'm bisschen.
Ein
No
bisschen, du
more.
kannst ein bisschen Deutsch sprechen.
No
Nicht
more.
mehr.
No more. Yeah,
Nicht
but
mehr. Okay.
I tell you, when I got to doing home health, I was throwing in German words in with the Spanish and confusing everybody.
Oh, I do that
So,
all the time.
yes,
Because
yeah,
I'm trying to learn a language. I'm trying to learn Spanish. So I'm speaking Spanish, and then I go, I know it's not English, and then my brain goes, oh, it must be this German word. I just throw it in there, and they just look at me confused.
yeah,
And then there's Mennonites down here, which are like the Amish, and there's some of them that are directly from Germany or Switzerland, and I can speak with them, but they speak a really weird form of German. It's hard to
yeah.
understand, but I
There's this more.
understand the confusion. Excuse me.
Isn't there's more High German?
No,
Is
they
that
speak
what they call it?
more. They speak more. Schweizerdeutsch, which is German in the valleys of Switzerland. So
Yeah.
Schweizerdeutsch. So it's
Okay.
Schweizer Deutsch, which is Switzerland German. German Switzerland, however you want to say it.
So even more different.
Schweizerdeutsch. Yes, it's
Sweet.
very difficult for me to understand. Schweizerdeutsch. So
I like
it sounds really. It's very difficult. So it's like what I'm basically trying to compare it to is you running this auto parts store that your parents had, that your father is like learning a complete different language for somebody who's not initiated in that world.
for my mom, yes. For my sister now, she could take a car apart and put it back together. Uh,
Okay,
she's
I like
amazing,
that.
and yeah, she knew lawnmower parts. She knew all this kind of stuff, but it's just the South, and men would rather go buy from men. That's all it comes down to. So they closed the store, and it was left vacant for a few years. Utilities and everything had been cut off. There was nothing going in when I had this team come down in 2013. And my husband
Okay,
had even gutted it. He had taken everything out. There was nothing left in it. And their equipment, the like the K2 and the any kind of equipment that lit up in one spot. And that was exactly where my dad's chair sat for 30 years. So that
I thought
was
it'd be at the I
interesting.
thought it would be at the cash register.
No, right? No, it was exactly where his chair sat. And
That's interesting.
they got a couple of EVPs. One of them did not connect with my family at all. This place had been around. The building had been around since the 1800s, and it had been a Red Cross building, an ice cream factory, a store for furniture, just all kinds of stuff before the auto
Always
parts.
we're gonna get
All
yeah,
that
two
stuff.
things
Dan,
though. Two things that's so interesting that every time the paranormal investigators look into a place, they always like to go back into the history because it helps explain what they're looking for, where they're
right?
going. But
Exactly.
and another thing, for the uninitiated, there might be someone in the future who runs across this podcast who's never, doesn't know about ghost expeditions or paranormal researchers. What is an EVP?
Electronic voice phenomenon, or
Okay.
a ghost sentence, if you will. It's hopefully it's what you're trying to capture. You're
Ghost
trying to get a
sentence.
ghost to talk to you.
Do you have that
Like,
on do you have that on a shirt? You need
I
to
need
market that.
to. It just actually came
EVP,
out.
aka ghost sentence.
Ghost sentence. I need to. And I'll have to give you props. Yeah. Oh, look,
Oh no! Yeah,
Tom, Tom
just put a
helped.
picture of just put a picture of my logo on the back and me like this, like yeah,
Hey,
and then yeah, and no money
ghost.
necessary, just to get my name out there. Cool. So it's like a resident or like a residue or like a very as far as I watch some shows I'm interested in, of course. It's like there's very special, there's like a very old recorder that they use for like the real good one, and
Hmm.
it records in such a way that you can hear things that are not uh, completely audible to the ear at the moment, and you can listen back to them. The only thing that bugs me about those is that they always put the words at the top.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
especially these real big shows, like Twin Paranormal and things of that nature. I don't let me discern it for myself. Like, okay,
Exactly.
like if you're a person doing it, and we pick this up, what do you guys think? And then let it play a couple times, and they go, we think it says this,
Hmm.
and then you know what I mean. Let it go from there. But it
Yeah.
all because you can listen to something, and if you put the words up, then you only hear that. You know what I mean?
No,
So that's
exactly.
a bothersome thing about EVP sometimes.
I even when they put the words up, just close your eyes. Just don't even look at the words and see what you can hear. I've heard so many different things from the different shows that will put up the words. I've heard different, and
Yes,
you might still hear different from me. We might have
true.
several different. All everybody in the chat room might hear something just a little bit differently, or something really different. You just never know. Um, but
Right.
the what you get could be residual, which means it just plays over and over and over again, doesn't really respond to you, or you can have an intelligent spirit that is actually talking to you. So those are good.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one that bugs me, I'm going to put them on blast, whatever, is the ghost of Carmel, Maine. Has the best video evidence that I've ever seen. I love his video evidence. It's for me just amazing. This black shadow figure in the room that comes out of the window that peeks
Yes.
around the corners. It's crazy good. But then the EVPs, I'm like, oh, you know,
Yeah.
it,
Yeah. I
it's
mean,
such a great channel.
you
Except for
just
that
gave me
part.
chills of bringing that up because seeing that for the first time, I was told it was something good to watch, and I was like, okay, here we go. And I wanted to watch it, so I did, and I was just waiting for average, you know, and then this thing comes out of that window and
Out of that
comes
window
across.
in the
Yeah,
bedroom.
yeah,
I think it's in
yeah,
Maine. I think it's in Maine.
it
I ran
is.
across it. I ran across it watching Nuke's Top Five.
Oh
Because
yeah,
Nuke's. If you guys don't know Nuke's Top Five, it is the end all to be all awesome channels for quick. To like for a channel like yourself, if you would ever get on Nuke's Top Five, you're gonna blow up. If you ever run across some very good evidence, just send it to me and I'll submit it. You know what I mean? Go,
right.
hey, Nuke, get it up there.
Yeah,
It's a great channel for this really weird stuff, and my girlfriend won't watch it. She goes, I can't. I'm a Catholic. I can't be watching this. I'm like, okay, scares her.
there's a lot like her. There's a lot like her.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you're
It's a
probably not going to change the
certain.
mind.
There's certain religious people who lean towards it. You know what I mean? They'll say things like, all of it is demonic. You know what I mean? Which I
Right.
think is my personal opinion is overused. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not necessarily a religious person, a man of God, but not a religious person. And then there's certain people who just don't want them to do with it because it's too scary. And just give me my rosary and we're good to go. You know.
And then you've got the other people that say you're faking it anyway. So nothing, none of this is real.
This is interesting. Denise says that she always hears somebody calling her name and there's nobody there. Um,
Yeah.
I've had my sister. That happened to my sister, and she ran into my room because there was no door between our rooms. She can actually see me sleeping. Back when I was a kid, and she ran in and goes, "Are you calling my name?" And I go, "No." She goes, "There's someone in my ear saying Jenny," and I'm like, "It wasn't me. It wasn't me." And she just slept with me like the whole night. We were like 12 and 11. She just couldn't bear it. It's such a because that phenomenon is more scary than any EVP. Is the actual what do they call that?
Where they actually
Like,
say your name.
would actually speak, where you actually hear something like an audible voice, a disembodied voice. That's the word. That one scares the bejesus. I'd rather see an apparition personally, or an orb, anything. A bang on the wall, but a voice, that one gets me personally.
And see, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for those voices. Give me those
Yeah,
voices.
yeah. Denise says she's not scared. She wants to know more. Is there anything that maybe you can tell Denise about those? Like, if someone's calling her name, is there anything that maybe you can any type of advice that you can give her?
I would think about what's going on in your life right now, or when this was actually happening. It could be just a gentle nudge of someone that you've lost in your family, just saying hello. It could be something as simple as that. I've had people reach out to me that are having odd dreams where someone is coming back. Like this one woman had her mother who she'd lost years and years ago, and all she was doing was showing up in her dream and just shaking her head at her. And she would wake up and she would be really distraught. Like, why is my mom shaking her head at me? What have I done now? What have I done now? And I mean, this woman was in her 50s. So
Right.
she's not a teenager just going out and messing up and doing something stupid. She's living her life. She's got grown children. She's, all these things. But I asked her if she had been to the doctor lately, what was going on health wise. And for some reason, I went that direction. And she said, I've been putting that off. I know I'm anemic, but I'm putting that off. And I said, well, I think your mom's telling you need to go to the doctor. This girl, if she hadn't gone to the doctor, she would have had to have all kinds of radiation, but they caught these cancerous cells before they had a chance to attack her.
Oh, like at stage 1. So she got, wow, yes. That's interesting.
But her mother was showing up like, I can't believe you haven't, it was the look like, I can't believe you haven't made that appointment yet. I can't believe it. And so whenever.
Yeah, that's such an interesting thing.
So you just.
Because after my grandmother died, there was two strong dreams I had. One time it was, we were in a row home. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. So we're in a row home. I don't recognize the row home. They all look very similar, but this particular one I don't recognize. My parents in the backyard barbecuing. There's people in the house walking around. And my grandmother was a short lady. She was 4'8". And she always stood on like a little step stool so that she could cook on the stove. And she was standing on her step stool. And I walked up to her and I gave her like a little kiss right here on the, and I could smell her cigarettes. Like she was a heavy smoker. And I just said to her, I said, is everything okay? Like about the party, you know what I mean? And she just looked at me and said, everything's fine. Everything's fine, baby. And then I woke right up. There was that one.
Wow.
And then there was another one that was even more intense. She died, it was maybe 2-3 months later. It was cartoonish. It was almost like pastel, but stronger. I wouldn't say pastel. It's a fault. But it's like very strong, but not realistic like place. It was outside on a porch. And I remember tulips blowing in the breeze, and I can see like there was like a field across the street and some trees, and there was a heavy thunderstorm, and it was banging so hard that the porch was shaking, and I kept hearing this voice saying, repentance. And I actually had to wake up and look that up. I rolled over, picked up my phone, and picked up the word and looked at the word repentance to know what it meant. And it wasn't her voice per se, but I knew it was her. It was one of those kind of things. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Do you know what she was telling you? Do you know
repentance means something like maybe you're wrong about what you believe? Because I used to be a very staunch atheist for many years. I was a staunch atheist for many, many years.
And you're not now.
No.
And you're not now.
No, but I don't like religion. I don't. For me, it's the middleman. I just go straight to the source. You know what I mean? I just do it that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know.
No, I'm right there with you.
And I'm good.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I'm completely connected with everything, and I love everybody and everything, and I do my very best in this difficult world we live in. Mm-hmm. But it was kind of like the start of and then my daughter was born, like maybe 10 months after that, and then that kicked in, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, there's something more to this. Like you see her eyes, and then you see and then I'm like holding her, and I look outside the window, and the world just keeps moving. Yeah, that was a very eye-opening thing for me as well. Yeah. So dreams are a very interesting way, and sometimes in which these phenomenon, it's all oddly connected. Do you have any theories about the connection and why maybe they exist?
The only thing I know about dreams is that our loved ones can visit us during dreams, because that is the time when we are at our most vulnerable. All of our defenses are down, and they can come in without us going, I don't want to see it, I don't want to hear it, anything like that. Whereas instead of walking into a room and seeing an apparition of a long lost loved one, it's easier for them to come through in dreams and tell you or give you symbols of what they want you to take notice of. So,
Also, like your cognitive defenses are down, your prefrontal cortex is down. You're within REM sleep, and like you're open to these kind of things. And within that REM sleep, they can kind of like filter their way into it to give you a message.
absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
so wild. There's another guy. His name is Neil Ballas, and he's been on my podcast many times. And he is a big he's really good at being aware in his dreams. I don't know the word for that. He can
Like lucid dreaming? Lucid
very
dreaming.
incredible lucid dreamer. I mean, very
Yeah.
powerful. Where he can like zap things out of the sky and breathe underwater and fly so fast that reality can't catch up. He's like running into a black hole or like a TV screen kind of thing. And he was telling me this story that's so incredible. He said to me, he goes, so it was like his father to him. So it was his friend, his best friend's dad died, and normally he can just zap people. No, I can't deal with this right now. I'm emotionally, you just died. I can't talk to you. And he goes, no, you can't do that to me here. And he's like, what? What do you mean? This is my own reality. I get to go. Not this time. And he goes, I want you to tell him. So, I don't remember the name, this message. Just tell him that everything's going to be fine. And the place where I'm going, I can't come back to give any more messages, but tell him that I love him and everything is just fine. And he's like, okay. And then dreams, and never told his friend, because he just, his friend was going through a lot, didn't want to bring it up.
Oh,
And then his friend was supposed to move out of country to somewhere. I don't know exactly where he was moving to. And he goes, you're my friend and I have to tell you this, right? And he goes, so I seen your dad in a dream. And he goes, oh, let me guess. He told you that everything is fine and that he's going to a place in which he can't go back and tell me anymore, right? He kind of goes, yeah. He goes, well, my sister told me that, my mom told me that, and my other friend told me that. So what's the big deal? So he popped up in 4 people's dreams to give his son that message.
wow.
It's
Wow.
wild.
I mean,
It's
that's,
wild.
but I'm sure it happened.
I
I'm
do.
sure it happened. Yeah. He was so adamant to get that message that, okay, the first one of them wouldn't tell him, then another one wouldn't tell him. I wonder who finally told him first.
That part I could ask him again, because I have him on once in a while. We talk about the dark forest theory, in which if we put the stuff out in the universe, that other civilizations see it and come and destroy this one. And he's into it. He's a great guy, well versed. I always try to get him to start a podcast, but he just won't do it. But yeah, I would definitely ask him that. It's just so interesting. So let's see. Oh, you're getting a lot of. Oh my God, Cyn. I was okay. Let's go ahead and pop this one up here. Denise, oh my God, Cyn. When I was 9, my mom came to me. She was standing by the bed, shaking her head. Maybe she saw all the crap I was going through. Yeah, just exactly what she was saying.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Very, very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, you're with Elk Valley Paranormal. Someone said, is this in Franklin County?
No, Lincoln County.
Lincoln County. Okay, because I thought it'd be funny. My name is Franklin.
Right.
Franklin County. It's an interesting thing. Like, I would say easily 50 to 60% of my guests are from Tennessee, and I don't know why. It's not like I'm trying. I am not trying. I got Daryl Denton, and hopefully I'll be having on. I can't think of his name right now. I got on Harley Owens, my buddy here, Magical Journey. He's from Tennessee. People from northern Alabama. That I don't know what it is about Tennessee, but everyone seems to want. I don't know. Tennessee is telling me something.
Yeah. You need to come visit, I guess. My friend Eric Freeman Sims.
I'm friends with Eric Freeman Sims.
I know.
And his partner, who is like my boy. I can't think of his name right now, but he is awesome. I love the way he speaks. Eric Freeman Sims bought the haunted house, correct?
Austin. Are you talking about Austin?
Austin.
Yeah.
I want to say Austin Reeves. That's a basketball player.
Austin Lawrence. Yeah. They're both great.
Eric bought a haunted house in Kentucky.
Yeah, I was one of the ones he invited up for the inaugural investigation.
Oh, so we're all in a little tight little circle, aren't we? Oh, I don't know why this Irish accent's coming.
I don't know. I
Oh,
like it too.
oh, so yeah, my buddy Magical Journey, he is also from Tennessee. Maybe one time you can pop on his channel. He's a great guy. Just started
I'd
out.
love to.
Yeah, so there you go, Magical Journey. Reach out to her, and she said she'd come on. Boom.
I'd love
Oh,
to. Yeah.
he's fantastic. He's a well in tuned. He considers himself like a pagan Christian, also a green witch, and he uses rocks and he's whatever minerals. Don't get you might get upset.
You know, a lot
He's
of it.
in Murfreesboro.
Yeah.
What he said.
I went to school. When I first went to college, I graduated from MTSU. So that was right in Murfreesboro. I was Old Blue before they had Lightning the horse. I was the mascot Old Blue, the blue dog, back in 83, 84.
Okay, it's interesting because our mascot at my high school was a comet. So I don't know how a big fireball or no, a ball of ice and gas. I guess you had to eat some beans and stick your head in the freezer before you run around the football fields.
I don't know. I don't. Yeah.
So I'm an amateur comedian. I try to. Well, it's been 10 years, but I had to move a lot. And now trying to do it in Spanish is also a big trip.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. So what is, if someone were to say to you, you've written multiple books and most of them being true, is there any particular book that you would like maybe want to put into the forefront as the beginning into your writing, into your world and what you do? Is there any book that you would like to, kind of promote at the moment? Maybe the newest one or the best one or what, the one you like the most?
The one that was supposed to be my first book was the third one because I couldn't figure out how to do it. I couldn't figure out how to get it across. They're all investigations I've been on, residential and commercial. Big places like Hell's Bar Dam to little old storefronts, that kind of thing. Even a cemetery. But they are the electronic voice phenomena I've caught. And what I did was open up elkvalleyparanormal.com. So not the one on Facebook, but .com. And
Right.
you can go to the pull down menu in evidence to their speaking. And if you're reading book 3, they're speaking, Are You Listening? My most compelling EVPs. You can listen to all the EVPs in that book.
Interesting. And that's the third book that's supposed to be the first one. What did it end up being your first book?
The first one was 23 short stories that are just true ghost stories and eerie things that have happened to me and my team members and a couple of my friends. Okay. So out of the 23, 18 are here in Lincoln County. And by the way, Franklin County is right next door.
Right.
So there's always a Franklin. Hey, Jenny.
I don't know. Jenny, hi, Jenny. Welcome to the show.
Yay.
Jenny, I don't know who you are, but welcome to the show, Jenny.
Maybe I do
know. Oh, okay. What does she do? What does Jenny do?
Jenny and her husband make tumblers.
Tumblers for rocks.
Amazing tumblers. And I don't have mine behind me at the moment, but she actually put my Cyn Shrader Hill author picture on this custom-made tumbler that keeps the hot stuff hot, the cold stuff cold. What more could you want for with a tumbler? That kind of thing.
I don't even know what a tumbler is. I'm thinking of like
something. Yeah, you do.
Oh, you mean for like alcohol or something? Oh, okay.
Yeah, like a thermos, but
I don't really drink much. I guess. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Okay. I was thinking one of those things that people put rocks in, and they put like some aggregate in there, and it tumbles. That's a tumbler too.
Jenny's really crafty. She might have one. She might have one of those kind of tumblers too.
I think we just pulled. I just might be a dork. Okay, fair enough.
Hey, I'm right there with you, so it's okay. It's all
Don't
good.
bother me none. There's been many times where I'm still on stage with a microphone in my hand, and everyone just stares at me. You can hear the crickets outside, so it's nothing new. Perfectly fine with it. So Pam asked me earlier. She goes, "Do you know anything about the Cyn? Has she had any cryptid encounters? Have you had any cryptid encounters?"
I have. I'm going to a cryptid Paracon, a festival coming up. I've never seen this cryptid, and I also live in an area that has a special cryptid. So I've not seen either one of these. The place I live in is called Flintville, and we're known for the Flintville Monster, which is like a Bigfoot, but very aggressive, very come at you type of Bigfoot. And the festival is in Chickamauga. It's the Green Eyes Festival. So
Okay,
old
because he
Green
loves
Eyes,
going to the festival. That's my buddy. He
yep,
loves going to the. Maybe you can run across him. He's a sweetheart.
right?
Great
It's
guy.
on that's on the 5th over in Chickamauga, Georgia.
Oh,
So
Georgia. Oh, wow. I don't know if he's going
yeah,
to do all that
Green Eyes.
traveling.
Green Eyes was supposed to be first seen on the Chickamauga battlefield, and they don't know really what he is. They just know that he was this man-sized thing that had long, stringy hair down to his waist and glowing green eyes and a couple of fangs, and you didn't want to really be around him.
Sounds
So
like Lemmy from Motorhead. 'Cause, yeah.
they've got somebody dressed up, but I swear he looks like Mothman with green eyes.
Oh,
So
that's interesting.
yeah, so I
So like a depiction, someone drew a depiction of it.
don't know. They've got somebody dressed up.
Oh, okay,
They've
okay.
got a mascot. They've got a mascot.
Are you asking, Daniel, Magical Journey? Are you asking if it's the 5th of October? Is that what
It
you're
is the
asking?
5th of October. Yes, it is definitely the 5th of
5th of
October.
October.
Green
Oh, so I
Eyes
have the internet's
Festival.
working. The internet's working good today.
Right,
Across your fingers,
right.
guys. It's doing really well today. It's good. And you're giving out good vibes and good energy. So, I mean, because I'm from Maryland, we have the Sykesville Monster. It's pretty famous. The Sykesville Monster,
Yeah,
Blair Witch.
you know, I'll never forget going to see that movie. I'll never forget it.
Scared the hell out of me.
But I remember when it ended, everybody just sat there, like was
I was in the military station in Germany, and I watched it with a good friend of mine. And he's a black dude, and most black dudes can be, rather tough and rough. They kind of bump on their chest. You know what I mean? Say it with your chest. Good friend of mine, Calvin Oliver Peacock III is his name. He retired
wow.
as staff sergeant from the U.S. military. I just reconnected with him. He's retired in Florida somewhere. And we were watching this movie, and at the end, he goes, "I gotta get the hell out of this room. We gotta go take a walk." It messed us up a little bit. We had a hard time going to sleep,
Well, it's
especially
kind
when
of
the dude was standing. It was a scary movie. People,
it was weird.
it was
Yeah,
weird.
because you never could see what was after you. Oh,
Oh, wow, you got somebody else over here.
hey,
Oh, mythical mountain
that,
creatures.
that's Mike. That's Mike. That is Jenny's husband, who does the tumblers and special
Oh,
things like
yeah.
that.
A lot of new faces today. You guys do me a favor and like and subscribe to my channel. It's just so shameless. I'll be shameless for once. I don't, whatever. It is what it
There's
is.
some good people on here. There's some really good people on here.
Oh, that's awesome. I do have some wonderful. I seem to attract people who are just they're nice. I don't know how to explain it. They're inquisitive. They come from different walks of life. I do a show once in a while. We couldn't do it this week because of our buddy Jim from Pam. Could you give me his link real quick, baby doll? It's Fisher Spam's Night Watch, and he is Pentecostal, blah 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 blah. And I think Pam, I don't know exactly what Pam is. She's very religious too. And then Daniel from, we always come on together. And I am more of like, I guess, New Age or whatever. And we can all just come together and we just talk, about anything and everything. And people seem to enjoy our little family over here. And it's a lot of fun. There he is, Fisher.
Yeah.
Boom. Well, you're easy to love, Tom. All right, Denise. Remember, I have a Mexican girlfriend. She does. This Latin woman don't play, dude.
Yeah, Latinos and Latinas do not play.
She does not play.
Mm-mm.
She goes, if anyone
There's
gets
my
even look at me,
sister. My sister just came on.
Susan.
Yes.
Oh, hi, Susan. Welcome to the show. This is turned into a family reunion of friends and stuff. This is great. Welcome to the show. I'm glad you came. Glad you came. Oh, this is awesome. Because it accidentally, because I didn't want it to be on Facebook, because I'm trying to push it more towards you. But today, like,
and
I
I
on
put
Facebook
it on
today too. But it seemed to be a good thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
well,
fair
I
enough.
put it on my page. I put it on my page. So.
Fair enough. That's fine. Hey, Jenny. So, out of all the experiences that you've done through the years, what would be the one that would let's go for some shock, and then let's go for like a heartfelt one. Like, what's the one that shocked you, where you're just like, I can't believe that just happened?
Oh, probably when I saw a black cloudy thing over me with eyes. That kind of freaked me. I miss you guys too. I miss you guys very much. Um, I was doing an investigation at an old business here in town, and it's still in business. It's just the building was built way back in the 1800s and added onto a few times. But they had this trickster in there that was they caught it on
Oh,
camera. They'd caught it actually crawling up into a desk chair, turning toward the camera and looking at the camera. So this thing was very intelligent.
ooh,
It scared a couple of their customers out of the business, enough that they didn't want to come back in. Slamming doors, slapping the end of the counter really loud, footsteps coming up behind you, and just all kinds of stuff. It would be seen as a mist. It would be seen as shadowy. It would be seen as a staticky kind of thing with eyes in it. I saw it as a cloud, a black cloud with eyes
what color were the
and
eyes? What color were the eyes?
white, big white
Wow.
eyes. It was like a cloud a kid would draw, one of the big fluffy kind of
Okay.
clouds with eyes right in the middle of it. And yeah, it floated over me. I saw it in reflection. And I looked up, and of course, it was gone when I looked up, but it was wild. I'd never seen anything, and I've never seen anything since like
Mm,
that. So
yeah.
that kind of messed with me a little bit. The
There is,
thing
there's,
that,
yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Please
no,
continue.
go ahead.
Please. I thought just like that normal, like you're going down. You're really good at what you do. You're a fantastic guest. It's so easy to speak with you. And I'm like, she's winding down. I better go and jump in. But please, you were about to say
No,
something.
once I start talking, it's just jump in there and say, "Hey, shut up for a minute. Let me."
No, I would never do
Oh,
that.
you
I would
might
never
have
do that.
to. You might
No, I can't
have.
even remember what I was going to say now.
I'm sorry. I'm
No
so
worries.
sorry.
It's all good.
I'm good with that too. I'm
Okay, now I
really good.
remember. The interesting thing about paranormal, the people, there's still, even after all the shows, because of course they also put it in a bad light a lot of times too. But didn't you run across people like yourself and Eric and Austin, these people who really look at it? They try. I'm pretty sure you're one of those type of people as well. If you're being a good friend with Eric, that you try to debunk it immediately.
Yes,
You know,
you have to.
can this be explained this way? Can this be explained that way? But then there's just the evidence that doesn't fit anywhere. And then there's people who just, no matter what, won't believe it until they run across it and it affects them. And they'll never be the same since. It happened to
Right.
me when I was 8. I had a poltergeist encounter that completely messed me up.
Wow.
And really bad. And to try to explain it to somebody doesn't work. I haven't told people at all, for years. I mean, like 35 years, I never told anyone other than my parents who didn't believe me at the time. The only
Mhm.
people who knew about it or who believed me were the people who were there, which was my half sister and my sister. You know what I mean? So it's just sometimes you have to be hit in the face with a baseball bat until you realize you're playing baseball. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
I just made
You
that
do.
up. I think that's a good
I,
analogy. I
that's a
just made it up right now.
That's a T-shirt. That's a
That's a
T-shirt.
t-shirt. Someone go ahead and snip that out for me. What else? My own. Oh yeah, that's my. Okay, that's my Gmail. Oh yeah. Of course. Thanks, Pam. If you guys have any stories, if you want to come on the show, just go ahead and email me, or you can contact me for Facebook. Anyway, just get a hold of me, and I'll have you on the show. For me, it's more. It's the subjects are always interesting, which is exciting, entertaining, fun, cool, scary. But for me, it's always the personal connection that makes it all worthwhile. All worthwhile. The people I've met doing this has been made it just the part that I enjoy the most, which was not the initial concept of it. So that's cool, great surprise. My next question is going to be: so, what's your plan in the future? What is the next thing coming up? I'm going to imagine it's going to be some type of films, right?
Oh, I know.
All right, guys, let's go out there and let's get her to make a film. Let's get her to make a film. All right, just kidding.
Denise wants me to come back. I would like
to.
Okay,
that's not a problem. We can talk about anything under the sun. We can talk about anything under the sun. You want to talk about the tire tread? We could do anything.
Right? Let's see. Let me. I don't know. What do you want to know about? All I know is I am working on the guy that does my covers and the illustrations in my book is Mark Elliott Fultz. And he is one of my very best friends. He lives right outside of Pensacola. He's from Chattanooga. So, we met when he was in Chattanooga, and we met on a couple of investigations. But he is the psychic medium I trust. And he's my go-to when I get confused with something or freaked out about something. He's the very first phone call I make. But he's got a lot going on, and I edit his books as well as mine.
So promote him, please. By all means, if he's a cool cat, matter of fact, get me in contact with him, and I'd like to have him on.
You would, he's great. He is fantastic. He's got so much going on. I am writing his cookbook right now, editing it, and it's as soon as I get it out, I can get out my book number 6, 7, and 8. But
he's making a cookbook. What does he do?
He's a paranormal investigator. He is a trance artist. He does seances. He does past life regressions.
He's a trance artist.
He will go into a trance, not looking at the paper, and come out with that's how I got some of these covers. He would go into trances to make this artwork.
Okay,
he is top notch. He is out of this world.
What's his name?
Mark Elliott Fultz.
Mark Elliott
Fultz.
Please do me a favor and send me his information so I can reach out to him. Please.
I will. He's phenomenal. He is getting ready. Once this cookbook comes out, he is going to have a YouTube show called, and I can go ahead and tell you about it because he's talking about it. It's a cooking show that he does some of the recipes in his cookbook. Now, more than half of his cookbook is good stuff, really good stuff. And you'll be reading it and salivating, and then you'll flip the page and there'll be like tripe au gratin or, possum with carrots or,
Sounds good to me. I eat tripe here. I've eaten tripe tacos here in Mexico, and they're great.
Well, you might like the last part of his book. He's actually going to put a skull and crossbones on it and say, if you're squeamish, don't open this part of the book. Don't go.
It's fair enough to me. I actually read a book from an author that had a big hand on the front that says, don't read this book. And that's why I read it.
See, that's why people are going to open that part of the book anyway.
There was I think System of a Down did the same thing where it said steal this album because it was back in the day when they had CDs on the actual shelves, and just to get people to go, so it's a very good marketing technique. Very cool. And this guy does, so he does seances as well, and he also does regression therapy.
Oh, he does. You can talk to him about anything psychic. He died on the table a couple of times.
Okay, I gotta have him on for sure.
He's amazing.
Now you're peaking.
I'm telling you, when he was 30 years old, he was beat to a pulp and left to die. And a couple of his friends drug him to the ER, got him to ER, and they tried to bring him back in. But he's got this condition called Marfan syndrome, which some people can really do well with it, like Phelps, the swimmer. He's got Marfan's, but he's very strong with his.
What is that again? Because I'm Michael Phelps is from Baltimore.
Marfan syndrome. He's long and lanky, but it causes your connective tissue to not be as strong.
Okay.
So, and Mark, not being an athlete, when he got beat up so bad, some of his insides were pushed where they shouldn't have been. Okay. The connective tissue did not hold what it was supposed to hold. Wow. So he was just really bad shape. Died a couple of times, brought him back a couple of times.
So he has a couple of NDEs, I imagine.
He's got what?
NDEs, near death experience.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
He actually one of his visitors that he saw in a balloon in reflection in a balloon was a beautiful girl that ended up being his sister that died when she was just a baby, or I don't even think she had gotten to be born. But he recognized her through, I don't know how he recognized her completely, but it's completely fascinating. His whole story is completely fascinating.
Yeah,
so he's a great guy.
Yeah, I would. He sounds like part of the crew. He's going to be part of the Eyes soon enough. I got you. You're in. Sorry.
I'm in.
Yeah, you're in with us now. Yeah, that's what we're trying to foster. We're trying to foster a group of like people who just don't. There's a lot of in this field of what we do. There's a lot of that crab in the bucket mentality. And I try to avoid that at all costs. There's Howard Stern type takedowns and all kind of weird, just human mentality stuff. And I've run across it in every aspect. Whether I was painting, doing stand up, or being a musician. There's always that in there. And this group, the people that I have in here are just wonderful. And like you're just going to fit right in, like like they say in German, wie eine Hand in how do they say it? And Handschuhe, Faust and Handschuhe, like a fist and a glove. That's how they say it. Yeah. So I'm still working on my German. I forgot a lot of it.
I've forgotten most of it. I remember. Yeah,
when you said ein bisschen, I don't even know how you said it. Ein bisschen. It's ein bisschen. Yeah. I had to learn. I had to.
Du magst Spaß.
Ich mag Spaß.
Ja.
Ich bin Spaß. Danke, du auch. Ich finde, was du tust, wie du redest, wie du magst, alles, was du tust, ganz wunderbar und hervorragend.
Wow. Okay, I got wunderbar, and I didn't get anything else.
I said I enjoy everything that you do, everything you say, and the way you are to be exceptional.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Is exceptional. Yeah, you're very good at what you do, and I'll have an open invitation for you to come back and do a live with me, because I mean, the people really enjoy it. Yeah, I twist you. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I have to look at my schedule, but yeah, maybe towards Halloween or something like that. Maybe around that time, and we'll put on masks or something. I think for what is Halloween? Is that on a Wednesday?
I got all kinds of costumes.
Isn't Halloween? Didn't it used to be on the 31st all the time, and now it's not anymore? I'm confused.
I think they keep it on the 31st, but depending on around here, they sometimes let kids go trick-or-treating on the weekend instead.
Oh, come on. You got to have the sugar rush, crash, sleep, and wake up and don't know what you're doing in third grade math.
That's what we did.
Okay, we'll tentatively, if it's okay with you, let's put you on the 30th. That's a Wednesday. It's the day before Halloween.
I'm so excited.
Because I would just love to do that. I'll put on a mask. I'll have my girlfriend have it. I'll have her put on a shirt. I'll have her paint on a sugar skull on my face. And yeah, because they have the Dias Muertos here.
Yeah.
And it's, you see it from, but here it's different.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I collect that. Can you see my sugar skull? Can you see it?
I can see you're pointing at something. Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
I've got them everywhere. I collect them. So that was actually an anniversary gift.
It's on the 31st. What are you saying, Magical? No, Wednesday is the 30th of, the Magical. Look at your calendar, buddy. It's the 30th. The 30th is a Wednesday.
Yes.
See?
I'm there.
All right. Well,
I'm there.
Okay. We'll talk behind the scenes and we'll figure out like a topic or something that we'd like to talk about. We can even talk about Halloween. We can talk about tradition, maybe death photos and things like that. And maybe we'll get a little bit more to how you do your investigations or something like that. That would be cool.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, Jenny, you'll have to tune in. You'll have to tune in.
And Jenny, go over and sign in the channel. I'm on something today. I don't know what's going on. So let me go back. Okay. So one more time, please tell us where we can find you, where we can find your YouTube channel and everything else. And once again, you go ahead and send me those links and please send me the gentleman from Pensacola, his information as well. And I can put them in the bottom and get in touch with him.
Awesome.
It was a sentence that I didn't know how to end, but yeah.
Okay. Well, so my books, I'm self-published. My books are on Amazon, Cyn Shrader Hill. And I will give you my link tree so you can put that on. Elk Valley Paranormal.com has all my evidence. So you can go listen to EVPs from different places. If you've got my third book, They're Speaking, Are You Listening? My most compelling EVPs, you can go listen to all of the EVPs in that book. There's over 100. I'm also still collecting stories. If you have people listening that would like for me to add their story to the book. Yeah, some
Hear that, Magical? Magical's writing. He just started writing a book, and he has a ton of stories.
Nice.
Jim, if you're ever listening to this, Jim, he has incredible stories about. He was on a couple weeks ago that he had a CE5. You know what that is?
What is it?
Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, where you cyclically reach out to the aliens, and he did that for 4 days in a row. And on the 5th day, he didn't. And then one showed up in his driveway. He ran into his house, had a gun pointed at the door, and then the alien basically took control of his motor function, made him unload the weapon and rack the thing, and made him go to bed while he's screaming in his head, "Stop this!" So
what?
Yeah, baby, this is welcome to the Eye of Jupiter.
Wow.
Yeah, and
wow.
That's Jim Fisher of Spam. Go over and check out his channel. If you want to, you can go back and listen to the episode.
Absolutely.
It's I can't remember which. It's 2 or 3 weeks back, and you'll find it. It's most horrifying. Jim Powell CE5 gone wrong or something. CE5 encounter gone horribly wrong, something like that. So it's pretty crazy episode.
Jenny, I'm gonna tell on Mike. Mike, her husband has had a close encounter.
Okay.
If he wants to tell
if he's willing.
Yeah, he's got, oh my goodness, what a story.
Okay.
It's one of those,
Yeah, we'll talk off camera for a second, and we'll make sure we get on that. But Cynthia, tentatively, I'll put you on the calendar for the 30th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for coming on. You're a wonderful guest.
Thank you.
My favorite thing is the surprise. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, but no, as soon as I seen you, the personality, I was like, we're going to be fine.
You know what, Tom? You are a fantastic host.
Thank you, baby. Appreciate it.
Fantastic.
Thank you. All right. Thanks. I don't know what to say, but you're a fantastic guest. So stick around backstage real quick, and I want to talk to you about a couple things, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Bye, you guys.
Bye. So that was Cyn Shrader Hill. What a guest, right, guys? I hope you enjoyed that very, very much. All the new people that came over from Facebook, I guess I don't know how I did that, but once in a while, good things work out in a weird way. If you keep finding yourself coming back to the Eye of Jupiter, please do me a favor, like and subscribe. Go over to the channel, click on it. Like I said, every Friday I drop an episode, and I'm going to have Cyn come back on the day before Halloween, and I'm going to have you paint me up. Du nächste wird fantastic. Right now. Okay. Alles klar. Why did I say told us okay. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for your messages tonight. You guys were super active in the group tonight. You had great comments, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that very, very much. And remember, you're watching the Eye of Jupiter podcast. And remember, we are the Eye, and we are aware.